If you're a woman in midlife and your body feels heavier no matter what you do, I need you to hear this. It's not just stubborn fat. It's armor weight. It's the weight that no workout or diet can touch. It's the physical, emotional, and energetic weight that accumulates after years of bracing, years of being the strong one, years of pushing through, years of caregiving, overgiving, overperforming, overachieving, years of swallowed anger, years of resentment, years of surviving. And then perimenopause arrives. Hormones shift, stress hits harder, recovery slows, collagen drops, and suddenly the body you used to be able to control doesn't respond in the same way. You eat less and move more and start again every Monday, and nothing shifts. And worse, it gets heavier. Your belly and waist thicken, your sleep fragments, your energy drops, your patience shortens, and you wonder, what is wrong with me? Your body isn't betraying you, it's protecting you. Hi, I'm Lisa Barwaz. I call myself a wellness alchemist and fitness feminist. I'm the creator of the Wellness Alchemy Triquetra and Warrior Goddess Kettlebell Training, the author of the book Unarmored, and the hostess with the mostess of the Goddess Got Goals podcast. For over a decade, I've helped thousands of women over 40 to get stronger, get in shape, get more confident as a personal trainer, kettlebell instructor, plant-based diet specialist, and nutritionist. But something kept showing up. Women were doing the workouts, following the plan, being disciplined, but still stuck, still inflamed, still exhausted, still fighting themselves, and still burning out or getting injured. Or some weren't starting at all. Since writing my book Unarmored, I went deep into stress physiology, trauma psychology, perimenopause neurochemistry, and identity wiring. And what became undeniable was this: armor weight is not a willpower problem, it's a capacity problem. When your nervous system is overloaded, consistency collapses. When your body is constantly bracing, scanning for threats, it conserves that energy. And what that looks like is burnout, chronic fatigue, pain, aches, procrastination, perfectionism, anything that stops you from taking more action or expending more effort because you're afraid of what that's going to cost you. And I know this because I lived it. There was a morning I couldn't get out of bed. My alarm went off, I tried to stand, and my legs, they just gave out. Exhaustion, brain fog, heaviness. I was bone tired. I sat on the edge of the bed and sobbed. Not because I was weak, but because I was done pretending that I was fine. And what scared me the most wasn't just the fatigue. It was the thought, if I keep going like this, I'm going to get really sick. You see, both of my parents were gone by the time I was 22 years old. I knew that road, and I sure as hell was not going to walk down it. And that moment, that became the birth of the method that I now teach, called the Wellness Alchemy Triquetra. Because strength alone wasn't enough. I didn't need another plan, another diet, another detox, another pill, another exercise to do. I needed a system that rebuilt my capacity across my biology, across physiology, across my psychology, and my identity. Let me show you what that looks like. Beth came to me with 60 pounds of weight she believed she could never lose. But the weight wasn't even the hardest part. She felt heavy in her life. She had a knee injury, an old hip condition. She believed that all of this was just because she was aging. She couldn't walk far. Her movement was restricted. Every sentence came with an apology. She wasn't showing up in her own life and in her own day. She was caring for everyone else. She felt so stuck to the point of apathy, depression, and just not being able to see any hope in the future. She couldn't see a way forward. So we didn't start by overhauling her diet. We didn't add training or workouts. We started by restoring safety, a relationship with her body, helping her with that inner mean girl and negative self-talk. And then we began to rebuild capacity with micro habits and micro rituals and her alchemy anchors. In 6 weeks, she released 7 pounds without changing her diet, without adding exercise. She lost inches, the dark circles under her eyes, and the puffiness in her face. She began cooking again, not from shame, but from care. She started talking about moving house, traveling. Hope had returned. She was imagining a future, because when bracing reduces, when we move out of survival mode, capacity returns. And when capacity returns, you become more consistent, able to do those healthy habits that you know are going to make you feel better, regardless of your age or starting. And this is where capacity holds, where those habits stick. This is what makes the Wellness Alchemy Triquetra different. We don't follow a weight loss plan. We look at it holistically through the 3 lenses of the Wellness Alchemy Triquetra: psychology, biology, and spirituality. Biology first. When stress remains elevated, the body prioritizes conservation over release. If your system continues to read threat, it shifts and stays stuck in survival mode. And survival favors protection and does not relinquish that fat loss. Over time, that often shows up as increased storage, specifically around your midsection. And this isn't failure, this is adaptation. Chronic stress elevates cortisol. Cortisol increases inflammation. Inflammation disrupts insulin sensitivity. This equals weight loss resistance. And then your sleep fragments, your gut integrity shifts, energy drops, collagen production drops, muscle loss, strength loss, and just feel entirely weaker and unfit. So during perimenopause, the stress sensitivity amplifies. Building lean muscle becomes essential. Strength training becomes anti-inflammatory, helps to reverse the effects of trauma. Muscle improves glucose disposal, thus regulating your blood sugar from those highs and lows. This stabilizes your metabolism, but only when it's progressive and your body feels safe. So we don't punish. We regulate first. When stress signaling begins to lower, the body stops conserving the energy, conserving the weight and the fat, holding on to all of those things while it's bracing. We need to teach it to let go, to release and shed the armor weight. Then the psychology, because your brain, it's metabolically expensive. It uses a huge amount of the body's energy. If your nervous system believes it's not safe, your brain constantly scans for threat. And that constant scanning, that consumes a lot of energy. It creates brain fog. It creates chronic fatigue. It creates tension in the jaw, the shoulders, and the back, and can affect your gut health. And, of course, increase the cortisol around that midsection. Beliefs like, I'm too much, I'm not enough, I'm broken, I'm not lovable. These aren't just thoughts. They're stress patterns, hardwired in. And if the system reads threats, it conserves energy and everything else at all costs. It holds dearly to that armor weight. Inside the Consistency Coven, we work with energy psychology, EFT tapping, boundary repair, and micro habit and identity rewiring. Because when the beliefs shift from I'm broken to I am safe, the brain stops scanning. The body softens. The ability and capacity for consistency returns. And then spirituality, because midlife is not a decline. We are spending more than 40% of our lives post-menopausal. So this is not just an initiation, it's a reawakening. Who am I now? And research shows that loneliness and doing things in isolations and hyper-independence increases inflammation. Lack of purpose increases our mortality risk. We're living longer past our child-rearing age. We need purpose. We need meaning. We need that fight for social justice. This connection regulates our nervous system, known as co-regulation, and belonging stabilizes our cortisol. And as with our ancestors, post-menopausal women in a matriarchal society become the wise women, the leaders, the supporters of the community. They're the knowledge holders, the guardians, the healers. Even in nature, female orcas lead their pods after menopause and increase the overall survival rates of the whole group. But patriarchal systems, they silence powerful women, burned intuitive women, punished outspoken. That legacy lives inside our nervous systems, the witch wound, the inherited fear of being too much. So women shrink, we overgive, we disconnect from our instinct and our intuition. Inside the consistency coven, we reawaken the warrior guardian, the woman who protects her energy, who leads from grounded strength. We use rhythm, cyclical living, seasonal alignment, not as decoration or aesthetics, but as nervous system stabilizers. So when identity shifts, behavior follows. And this is where true sovereignty, self-trust, self-confidence return, and consistency becomes natural. So I invite you now to consider entering the consistency club. You can join for a season. That's 3 months. This is your recalibration phase. Women release up to 20 pounds of armor weight during this time. Or you can stay for the full turn of the wheel of the year. That's 13 months. Because real change is cyclical. It's not forced. And releasing armor weight, it's not about becoming smaller. It's about becoming solid, becoming strong, grounded, unarmored. And if something within you quietly whispered, "This is me," I want you to understand armor weight doesn't stay neutral. When a body lives in a state of survival for years, it adapts, but it doesn't heal. Inflammation becomes normal. Exhaustion becomes part of your personality. Hopelessness becomes your identity, not because you're broken, but because the nervous system settles to the state that you're in. But the longer you stay in survival mode, the more familiar it feels. So you don't need to wait until things get heavier. You deserve relief and release sooner than that. Inside the Consistency Coven, I work closely with a small group of women. This isn't a mass program. It's deep nervous system and identity work. And when the spaces are full, they're full. If you feel that quiet readiness or want to explore it further, click the button below and book your connection call and decide together if that next step is for you. No pressure, just clarity. Let's begin.